Good evening, I'm Kelly Phillips. Thank you for joining us. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court justices struck down a major part of the Voting Rights Act.
What?
Justices struck down a major part of the Voting Rights Act.
What?
Justices struck down a major part of the Voting Rights Act.
What?
Part that determines the qualifications for determining which states must receive pre-approval from the Justice Department before making any changes to their voting laws. Some say it's a move forward in society, and others say it's a regression for Americans and discrimination. KFTM reporter Justin Hinton joins us live in the studio with details. Justin? Part that determines the qualifications for determining which states must receive part that determines the qualifications for determining which states must receive
It invalidated a key part of the Voting Rights Act, the law enacted in 1965 to stop racial discrimination at the polls.
At issue was a provision in the act that singled out states with a history of discrimination in voting, mostly in the South, and required them to get pre-clearance, approval from the federal government before changing voting procedures.
Later times after that,
times where racial difference erupted in violence. A stark contrast, the Supreme Court justices ruled, compared to today, one of the reasons for striking down Section 4 of the Act, defining which entities would need pre-clearance from the Justice Department when it comes to making changes in election rules.
When I first heard it, I was disturbed, because with them striking out Section 4, I think it pretty much disables Section 5. And I'm not convinced that we're at a point that Section 4 or 5 would not still be required.
But the justices thought differently, sending the decision back down to Congress to determine which entities will need pre-clearance. Not good enough for Samuel.
At one point I had faith in Congress, but in recent years I'm not really sure that our Congress will do what it takes to ensure justice and equality for all of its citizens of our country.
And whether Congress decides to enact a law or not, well, Samuel says there is something everyone can do.
What I would ultimately want is people to continue to pray and be vigilant, be involved, and vote.
And it's important to note that Section 5, which is the part that requires certain entities to receive pre-clearance, was upheld. But some say without Section 4, Section 5 is virtually ineffective. So it looks like we'll have to wait and see what Congress decides to do. Reporting live in the studio, Justin Hinton, 6 News Tonight.